Hello, friends, and Steve here, and Brittany the cat, and we're in the cabin, and Brittany's gonna pop her head up here for a minute. There's Brittany the cat. Want to say hi to the people, Brittany? Want to say hi? All right. So Brittany the cat is my savior. Some people have religious leaders. Um, my spirituality is based on Brittany the cat, um, who's in the present moment, and I'm working with it. It's been a rough few days. Um, I'd like to blame everything on other people. I think, if we were honest, if we could just blame our troubles on somebody else, we just would do it. But I think that I'm going to see if I can sit up straight. I look kind of slumpy. I think if we choose to be honest with ourselves, we have to, don't have to, but we have the opportunity to um, take responsibility for whatever the state we're in. And if we're not, we're in the state of Washington, it's been overcast for weeks and cold, then we can blame the state of Washington. But if we really want to take responsibility for the state of consciousness that we're in, I think we have to look at um, what we've been doing. I think if we keep doing the same thing, we're going to end up with the same results. I think that's one of those old sayings. I don't know how long. One of you can write in who said something like that. If we keep doing the same thing, we're going to end up with the same results. So what is it that we've been doing? And I now realize that I didn't put my microphone in. So now we'll get a chance to compare the computer microphone and the computer microphone and this little fellow here. I'm wondering if, Arlen might have something to say. No. All right, so I'm going to rely on my own devices: computer, microphone, woods, cabin. I feel like I could not have lived my life any more, much more consciously. I'm sure we could all live our lives somewhat more consciously, but I don't think I could. I think I've lived my life very consciously over the past 2 years. Yeah, maybe semi consciously or unconsciously in the preceding 72 years. But in the last couple of years, I've gotten much more conscious about the effect of my choices on the life experience I was having. And also, where my focus is and the result of my life based on my focus. That would be a possible theme for today. So one of the things I've noticed is I've only done a few videos in the past few weeks. And the reason for that is I felt like I needed a break after what felt somewhat like a break after the 24th of March. So after 28 years of the cleansing cycle, I excuse me. After 28 years of the cleansing cycle initiated by Abba Hamanad in 1997, March of 1997, I found myself working with a lot of feelings of disappointment and also self-criticism, because I was aware that I hadn't done what I had been asked to do, which was to set up this YouTube video channel so I could assist more people through the process of the last few years of cleansing. So I was asked to set that up in the summer, June of 2020, and I didn't do it. I felt like I was doing enough. That was what I felt like, and so I felt like I was doing enough. I felt like I was handling, the situation of the world in 2020 the best of my ability. I felt like I was helping more individuals through the process than I was, and I was also working with the World Healing Field. So I felt like that was enough. Matter of fact, maybe that was too much. But I can see how if I had actually taken the time and looked at more or less how simple it was to make a video and then upload it. I could have been taught that in 2020. I could have made videos in 2020. So I have a little bit of disappointment that I'm releasing, and possibly, because I spent my early years with Catholic people, maybe my guilt and shame as well. So just releasing those energies. I did it the way I did it. I set it up in 2023. So I was 3.5 years late, December of 2023. And I was 3.5 years late doing these videos. And as a result, I wasn't as helpful to as many people as I might have been if I'd taken them through the process for those 3.5 years. And maybe I would be in a different state than I am. Maybe I would have progressed further by assisting others to progress further. So I'm doing that now. I seem like I'm progressing very slowly from my own perspective. So I asked the universal consciousness to pick a card for the world today. And so I'm going to look at that card in a minute. But first, I'm going to set up a healing field. Because the last few videos I've done, well, the ones in which I've set up a healing field, I felt better afterwards. So we're just going to set up a healing field and see if it helps to produce change. Okay. So I would ask you to state this out loud, that I connect with my deep self, connect with my higher self, I connect with my highest self. I ground myself to the healing center of the earth. I open myself to the healing power of the One. And I let go of anything not useful to me now. And if you want help by the seventh dimensional beings, the Hathors, you can state out loud, I choose to work with the Hathors. And I ask the higher self to take us through the portal of time to the event that would be of the highest good to release and integrate at this time. And I invite all souls affected by the event to return to the event, to release and integrate the energy of the event for themselves. And ask that they all be placed in a field of protection while they do their work. Upon arrival at the event, I ask the higher self to assist us to release and integrate all energies of the event. Just looking at the shadows. Looks like I'm wearing eyeliner. I'm ready to do battle. I ask the higher self to assist us to release and integrate all energies of the event gently and easily, fully and completely on all levels and through all space and time. Healing field is set up if that's what you came for. Now you've got it. Come back later if you want to when we close down the field and we bring in the new energies, so you can have the experience of that if you choose to. So universe must have been really hearing me today, and listening to my Eeyore voice. Well, I guess we're going through a transformative process. Seems kind of difficult to me. But anyway, here's the card that the universe in its brilliance and its flow chose for us today. The Three of Swords. Swords are about the mental realm. And the word underneath at the bottom of this card is sorrow. Not Zorro, sorrow. Three of Swords. So we're going to look up what's the Three of Swords about. It's about the thing I was just complaining about and not getting on the path early enough. And this might be a lot easier now if I had just done things when I was told to do them. Isn't that oftentimes the case? So here's what the words from the Three of Swords are. A path forward was chosen. And we, on some level, on a level of spirit, on a level of soul, we chose this path forward. So a path forward was chosen by us, by our consciousness, by our soul, for our soul's journey in this world at this time, and we pursued it. And it says in the book, with focus and determination. And that part of me that's kind of at a low ebb right now is like, I don't know, ADHD, the focus that an ADHD person has, and determination that a depressed ADHD person has. That was the focus and determination at which I pursued this goal. And you may have pursued it. That's not a word, but I like it anyway, pursued. You might not have pursued it that way or perceived it that way. That's why I was looking at perceived. You might not have perceived that you pursued this path with attention deficit disorder and depression. But I think pretty much that would be how I described my pursuit of this path. Yet in the process of following our truth, in investigating and examining with new knowledge in tow, a harsh reality comes crashing in. That must be what's going on right now. Something comes to light that we did not anticipate. And we experience feelings of hurt, betrayal, even anger. key word, anger. It's just been bubbling up like the lava from a, already spent volcano, just blub, blub, blub. That's the way the anger is coming up. This divulgence is painful, but also deeply necessary. Now, don't you feel better? And you don't have to, but I feel better. I feel better when I'm feeling like crap, and then the words tell me, and it's important and even necessary that you feel like crap. And I go, oh, okay, well, at least it's important and necessary. This divulgence is painful, but also deeply necessary, reminding us of our strength, wisdom, and courage in questioning and enduring things that others may avoid. I do it. I'm not going to say that I particularly see myself as with strength, wisdom, and courage, but I do see myself as a person questioning and enduring things that others may avoid. And I tend to avoid things as well. But this powerful disclosure, this sense of revelation, is the bitter medicine of the Three of Swords. So take your medicine. If this rings true for you, take your medicine, which I am doing as well. Perhaps we took a chance that didn't pay off, or acted on an assumption that was quickly proven false. Okay, my assumption would have been, at the end of this 28 years of cleansing, everything's going to be beautiful in its own way. And maybe it was, but maybe it was proven false. But no matter what happened, we're scrambling to adjust and grappling with the pain of the unexpected. This is very helpful to me. I hope it's helpful to you as well. The Three of Swords can feel like a small slight or a massive betrayal. I'm going to continue with this in a moment, but I'm going to mention something, a really good awakening, which may just sound really simple to you, and you're like, well, of course, that's the way it is. That's fine if it's that way for you. But for me, I had a clear realization as this anger, which has been bubbling up and bubbling up and bubbling up over the past week, and before that as well. But for the past week, it's just been this steady release of this anger. Not at anyone particularly, just holding space for my body to clear it. And what I realized was, when I'm in, now we can always be in the state of the vibrations we're holding, but if we've got them buried deep enough, we're less aware of them. The further we send them down, the less we're aware of them. But when they come to the surface, we're very aware of them. And this will go back to what I said in the beginning. I realized that when I'm in a state of anger, I judge others for anything that they're doing that I feel makes it the cause of my anger. If the anger wasn't in there, what they're doing wouldn't be bringing it to the surface. Especially in just words, or somebody says something, or they don't put something away, or they leave something, whatever it is. They use all the hot water in the shower when you were planning to take a nice cleansing bath, and then you start running the water and it doesn't get hot, and it doesn't get hot, and it doesn't get hot, and you decide to do the Wim Hof method and just take a lukewarm bath, which is not near as fun as a hot bath. We can start projecting onto others our hurts. And maybe you have, I know I have, I spent a lifetime projecting onto others my hurts. Rather than get over them, let them up, find a way. And I started doing that, and then for over 50 years, over 60 years, if I look at it, I learned to release energy. I learned to release old hurts that I had held on to from prior to birth, other lifetimes. And when we release the energy, we see the world differently. I'm hoping that'll happen in this experience. So the Three of Swords can feel like a small slight or a massive betrayal, but in spite of our hurt and frustration, this is something we must contend with, something we cannot overlook. Sometimes this is self-sabotage, a pain that we have inflicted on ourselves. I think I just spoke about that. While other times it's a wound given to us by someone we trust, love, or value. But regardless of the circumstances, we find ourselves struggling, suffering, caught off guard, and uncertain how we'll get through it. And this definitely explains my mourning. This card hurts. It's a painful blade of truth sliding into an unsuspecting heart. A harsh and surprising revelation that knocks us off our feet. But the positive thing about the Three of Swords is that this is genuine awareness, an acknowledgement of something that's really going on. Threes offer genuine and truthful expression. There are no lies here, only revelations. And as painful, I can somewhat laugh, which frees up the energy a little bit. But I find that it's best when my expression matches the energetics that I'm working with. And as painful and as challenging and frustrating as this can be, as much as we may feel like we've been let down by someone or tricked or manipulated, we can now start the process of accepting the way that things truly are. This is not always kind, but it does create freedom. While this card can be difficult, we learn so much about who we are and what we are capable of through this struggle. It's here that we find our resilience, our magic, learn what inspires us and keeps us motivated, and allows us to move forward. While this card can be difficult, we learn so much about who we are and what we are capable of through this struggle. It's here that we find our resilience, our magic, learn what inspires us and keeps us motivated and allows us to move forward. The Three of Swords may initially feel like something that could destroy us, but it's important to acknowledge that this card is not the Tower or the Devil. Isn't some catastrophe that reshapes everything. It's a wound, one that will become a scar, and it helps us recognize and eventually reclaim our power. In readings, this card often gives us the space to acknowledge our pain, our anger, our sadness. It gently encourages us to consider where we may be nurturing that pain, clinging to that sorrow, or ripping open old wounds again and again to prevent healing. Heartbreak can sometimes feel like protection, indulgence even, But in giving ourselves permission to recover, yeah, you tell them, you do the video. Say, just look at the light. Here's all you need to do. Just look at the light. The message from the cat, from Brittany the cat. Heartbreak can sometimes feel like protection, indulgence even, but in giving ourselves permission to recover, we often find that we are stronger than we realized. This card has a lesson to offer, but we can discover its truth only by actually dealing with our pain. And I'm reading this again. This card often gives us the space to acknowledge our pain, our anger, our sadness. It encourages us to consider where we may be nurturing that pain. So if you want to journal about this, here's your journal prompt. What are you clinging to, indulging in, and where might you be able to grant yourself freedom? How does your strength manifest, and what do you need in order to heal? What are you learning about your own habits, and how can you look forward instead of backwards? I can truly say to the one consciousness, thank you for those words. And to Meg Jones Wall, who wrote those words, seemingly from the one consciousness. So thank you to the one consciousness for those words, which were very useful to me today. And I'm going to not only meditate on those words, think those thoughts, journal a bit about it, but provide myself with the space to let those wounds heal, to let those old held emotional energies ground themselves into the healing center of the earth, and see what happens next. Okay, so at this moment we're going to complete the healing field. So I ask the higher self and our soul group to assist all the souls that return to the event to combine with that part of their soul that had remained at the event and bring that combined soul back into the body in present time with all of its wisdom, power, and clarity, its compassion, its curiosity, and its kindness. And with joy and peace, I ask all the souls to ground themselves into the healing center of the earth, open up the portal for the delivery of the new energies into the earth at this time, and I ask the higher self and our soul group to assist us to bring these new energies in now. And I ask that these energies be activated. I let the universe beyond know that this has been done and that it's good. So from Brittany and I in the woods, I wish you good processing. I'll upload this in a little bit after I get back to the house, which is only about 120 feet, but it's currently raining, so I'll probably make another video before I head down. All right. Be well and know that sometimes it feels like work. Now is one of those times for me, and maybe for you too. All right. Now must change.